Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to today's webinar, and I thank you for taking time out today for attending the webinar. So today we'll go through how to manage your payroll for greater profits during the holiday season. So let's get started. So here's something about 360 accounting services. How did we get so good at accounting beans? So we started 360 accounting services in 2015. I've worked in various industries and with a variety of accounting systems. So I bring this knowledge to every project or business that I work with. I've been working within the coffee or with the coffee industry since 2008. So you can say for a decade. So yeah, that I've been working within the coffee industry for around a decade. Okay, here's a picture of Salvatore Malatesta. So I worked with Sal when I was working at St. Ali and Sensory Lab, and this is what he has to say about me. Have you been profitable? So today's webinar is for people who run a cafe, roast coffee, and manage staff. So if you're a business owner or you manage staff, I have a roastery, so this webinar will help you manage the staff during Christmas time. As you all will agree, hospitality industry is very competitive, and to build a successful business, it's important to have accurate and timely financial information. So what we do is we work with businesses to capture all the expenses and revenue to create an internal reports for them. So if you get the reports that are timely and accurate, it helps with decision-making process as well. Because if you get, for example, if you get a profit and loss after a month or 2 months, that's if you ask me, that's late, and it also is outdated. The report is outdated because it's old. So we'll be focusing on these two areas today. Payroll management. The first one is payroll management, and the second one is management accounting or internal reporting. So both of these areas are quite important for running a business. So if you are running a business, you will have staff. So managing payroll is important. And again, if you're running a business, it's important, again, to have internal reporting or some set of reporting so that you know the health of your business, so that you know how the business is running. So all of you must have heard of Xero and QuickBooks Online. So these are two popular accounting systems that are available and are used more commonly. So a brief summary on Xero. Xero originated or started in New Zealand. It's basically an accounting system or software for small and medium-sized businesses. It's got 500 plus add-ons, so it makes it a very comprehensive accounting system. And now Xero is being used worldwide. QuickBooks, on the other hand, is an Intuit product, so it originated in the USA. And in 2014, it had the most subscribers for an online accounting system. We'll also be talking about the right payroll software. So these two, Ento and Tanda, both communicate with Xero and QuickBooks Online. So we'll be talking about those as well. So one of the questions I would have for you is, are you still using manual timesheets and entering rosters manually? So it's time to start using a cloud solution. So if you are on Xero or if you are on QuickBooks Online, having an online solution will streamline your payroll process as well. So any questions so far? So next, what we'll go through is what are the features of Ento and Tanda. So both of them offer similar features. They're quite similar features that are offered. The only thing would be the user interface is different. So these are the key features of the software. Rostering. So what it does is it helps you create a roster. So you just start entering a name in the system and it will recommend you the staff within your organization, and then you can create a roster within minutes. Or if you have already used a roster previously and you would want to use it again, you can just copy the roster. So this will save you immense amount of time and also hassles. Another thing that's built in those systems is budgets. So you can have budgets in those systems, and that will help you with rostering. Since there'll be employees that are on different level of pay, so you can arrange the roster in such a way that the payroll for the week or the fortnight is within the budget. So that again helps you manage payroll. Another crucial thing is leave management. You don't want half of your staff to take leave at the same time. So in that sense, you need to manage leave for your staff. And with these applications, staff members can apply leave within the application itself, and then the store manager or the venue manager can go through the leave applications, approve them, or let them know that at this stage the leave would be declined and they can apply for it later on, or maybe next week. So in the sense that you're making sure that you've got the right staff or right amount of staff every week. Because if someone's on leave, you need to find a replacement for the staff as well to make sure things are running smoothly. Next is employee onboarding, paperless. So these systems allow onboarding being paperless. So initially, when I started work, I used to have a tax declaration form sent and an employment commencement form sent to new staff. So they were basically paper forms. So what I used to do is send them the forms. They used to fill in the form. Then once I get the form, I sit down on the computer, enter it in the accounting system manually. So that would take me more time. But now what these systems offer is that you have a set template of the form. Once you have an employee that you have recruited, you just send them the online form. They themselves fill it. So it's just them filling it. And then once they send it through, once they complete the form and send it through, it then communicates with the accounting system. So it will create the staff member in the accounting system, and it will also communicate with the ATO. So you don't have to post the tax declaration form. Once they have completed the onboarding, the tax declaration form is also sent. So this again minimizes work and saves time. And it also enhances employee engagement. So when the employees get something that you can just fill in and creates a quick turnaround, in the sense that because initially when I started work as a bookkeeper, I used to get forms, and then when I used to get the forms, the employee had, or the staff member had already worked a week, and then most of the time you need to back pay because the forms come in late, or yeah, or for some other reason. But here, the employees fill in the form. As soon as they complete the form, it goes on to the accounting system. So they've got the banking details there itself. So they'll start getting paid as soon as they've completed the form. So that's good. Another thing is time and attendance. So clock in and clock out. So it's good to create a roster, but then you also need to make sure staff members are working as per the roster. So that is done by time and attendance. So normally with clock in and clock out, employees or staff members need to clock in when they start work and clock out when they leave work. So essentially, they're just letting the system know what time they worked. And then once they have clocked in and clocked out, the system or the application creates a timesheet for the staff member. And that timesheet is then sent to the accounting system. And then you can process the payroll seamlessly. So you don't have to enter the timesheet manually for each employee. That if you've got 25 or 30 employees, that will save you half a day not entering timesheets. You just need to approve the timesheets, and then they come across into the payroll, and then you can the accounting system, and then you can just process the payroll and click of buttons. So this again saves you time and creates a seamless a seamless payroll system. So some organizations might have an enterprise bargaining agreement with their staff members. Sorry for that. So yeah, they might have an EBA. So these systems we can also apply that EBA within those systems. We can create rules in those systems and make life simple. So if you have an EBA, definitely that can be applied to these systems as well. So those are some of the key features that these applications offer. That's Ento and Tanda. And definitely, I'm sure these features will save time and also create accurate information in the process. So let's go through this diagram. So payroll process paperless. So you can see the first thing you'll have to do is create a roster, or if you have already used a roster previously and would like to use the same roster, you can just copy the roster. And once you have copied the roster, then the staff members need to start clicking, clocking in and clocking out. Once they start clocking in and clocking out, this will start generating the timesheets in the background. And once the timesheets are approved, then they are sent to the payroll system. Basically, the first three boxes would be in Ento or Tanda. So you create a roster, you do the clock in, clock out, and the timesheets are done in Tanda or Ento. And then processing payroll, that would be done in the accounting system. That would be either Xero or QuickBooks Online or any other system that you're using. So yeah, it makes it easier. You've got no paper. It will be paperless, and it'll also be quicker, because as soon as you've created a roster, as soon as they've clocked in and clocked out, the timesheets are being built in the background. And once the timesheets are approved, it seamlessly communicates with the accounting system, and you don't have to worry about entering them manually. So any questions so far? So I've got no questions so far, so I'll just go ahead. So the next part of the webinar is management accounts or internal reporting. So I know many business owners, what they do is they rely on the bank account balance. They just look at the bank account statement and see, okay, the balance is that much, the business is doing good. Well, checking the bank account balance is necessary, but it does not give you a complete picture of the business. It's important to have some internal reporting. for any business, that be for any business, it's important to have some internal reporting, knowing your sales, your gross profit, your net profit. A monthly P&L is a good report to have. What we do is we create dashboards for businesses with key performing indicators. Many businesses would like, or business owners would like to know the gross profit percentage, the cost of goods sales percentage, and many businesses would also like to know how much they are spending on wage compared to how much they're selling. So so these are some of the key performing indicators. So we create a dashboard and help them analyze and work help them analyze the business, how it's working and how it's moving forward. Budgeting and forecasting. Now this has become more relevant today than ever. Businesses need to understand seasonal patterns of their business and set goals or budgets as per that. And then once you have set goals or budgets, you need to reevaluate them periodically. So that's where the variance analysis comes in. So you need to analyze why the business has not met the goals, or why it has met the goals and gone beyond. So we need to understand that, or the business needs to understand that. So that's a good thing to have, a budget and then a variance analysis as well. And forecasting. So forecasting is also pretty much like budgets. So forecasting would be getting from historical information, trying to forecast what will happen in the future. So that's basically also taking into account how the business has performed in the past and how it will perform going forward. So that's an important aspect of the business to have, to know how it's trending or how it's going forward. Another thing is managing staff with historical data. So if you've got historical data, you can use it for managing staff. I'll give you an example. You can review which weeks are busy or busier, and then accordingly you can roster staff or roster more staff. So for example, end of December or the month of December is relatively more busier, or some weekdays within are more busier, and then you can have more staff on those days. Another example would be from Monday to Sunday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays are the busiest. That's what we get from the historical data. Sales, most of the sales are done from Wednesday to Friday. So you can have more staff during those 3 days and then have lesser staff on the rest of the days. So historical data helps you analyze and also manage payroll costs. So there are other things to keep in mind as well. Staff turnover. Staff turnover. So it's important to retain your staff, because if you've got new staff, you need to train them. Training will add to the costs. And if you've got staff that are already trained, that will reduce your waiting time with customers, and that will also reduce your wastage. Because if there's new staff and you're training them, the wait time may be higher or will increase, and the wastage may be higher as well. Another thing within the hospitality industry is Vivo checks. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. Vivo checks. So if you are employing backpackers or someone, if you're employing backpackers, you need to check their visa status and expiry date. So you can do that by Vivo checks. So this will also help you manage your staff turnover. So if you know there is staff that are on the that are backpackers and their visa is expiring on a certain date, you can arrange for a replacement and there'll be less hassles for you. So I would recommend to do Vivo checks for employees that are backpackers. Okay, this slide is for roasting and production part of the business. So I'm also a partner with Unleashed. Unleashed is an add-on that works with Zero. So what it does is it helps with inventory management. It also helps with production. So what will happen is you will have, when you're roasting your coffee, you'll have raw materials, you will have shrinkage or wastage. So all of this is captured within Unleashed. So if you're roasting and have got a wholesale business, so having that inventory management is important, to know what stock is moving and what stock is not moving, to know your average cost, and to know your gross profit as well. So Unleashed is an add-on for Xero and QuickBooks Online, so it will communicate with both the systems. And there's also a link there, so you can have a look at the link. That's for coffee roasters inventory management. So I'll just read that out. That's unleashedsoftware.com/industry/coffee roasters inventory management. So what I'll do is I'll also send through the slides or handouts with the email and the video and the recording, so you can have a look at those as well. So yeah, I'm also a partner with Unleashed. And if I've forgotten to say, I'm also a Xero certified advisor. I'm a QuickBooks Pro advisor as well. And we also work with Deer. So Deer inventory management system is similar to Unleashed. You can also have bill of materials in there. So you can have raw materials, assembly, disassembly, and production processes in there. So if you've got any more questions regarding those, you can always send me an email or give me a call. The contact details will come in later. So have you got any questions? Anyone's got any questions so far? So you can write in the question, so you can message in any of your questions, and then I'll be able to reply to them. So even if you get questions later on, you can always send me an email or just, yeah, you can give me a call or email. So I've got one question here. That's, what does Vivo stand for? So Vivo is Visa Entitlement Verification Online. So that's that's a government website. So what I can do is I can send you a link for the website or how to register for it, and then, because normally businesses can register for that, and you can then keep a check on your employees or when their visa is expiring. So that will definitely help you with managing your staff. So are there any other questions? Oh yeah, the number is there. So so on every slide, I just saw that. So on every slide, there's a number there. So you can always give me a call on 1300-360-749. So yeah, if you've got any questions, you can definitely call me on that number, or you can also send me an email. So moving forward, let's see. Oh yeah, so we also provide these services. We also do general bookkeeping and financial accounting services. So if you need a bookkeeper, we do on-site, off-site. Yeah, so let us know if you need a bookkeeper, or if any of your mates need a bookkeeper. Payroll management, we manage your payroll. We process payroll, we manage leaves, and we also do the end of year payroll reports. And with STP coming in, so if you have got any questions regarding single touch payroll, definitely get in touch. You've got the number there, you've got the email address there, and you can also book a meeting with me or a telephonic conversation, a consultation. So there's a link there. You can click on there, and there'll be my calendar. So yeah, so STP is coming. So it's already kicked in for your businesses that have got 20 plus employees. So if you've got less than 20, it'll kick in next year. So let me know if you've got any questions regarding STP. And we also lodge business activity statements or the monthly statements. Sorry for that. Virtual CFO. So we create internal reports, dashboards, budgets, forecasts, variance analysis, benchmark reporting. So what we do is we also create break-even analysis. So if you're planning to open a new store, you need to know how much sales you require to break even. So we provide that. So we provide that service as well. And training and technical support. So if you have a system that you want training for, so if you have Xero, Unleashed, you've already got those systems, but you need some training, or if you've got any questions regarding those systems, you can always get in touch. And there is a link. Yes, there's a link here. So book with us for a free consultation on how you can be profitable this holiday season. There's a link. You can click on there and book. Or you can call us on that number, 1-300-360-749. That's the number. I'll just repeat that, 1-300-360-749. And okay. So I would highly recommend you to follow us on Facebook, follow me or connect with me on LinkedIn, and we also have an Instagram handle. So yeah, that's us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and also if you've got any questions, that's the email address there, inquiries@360accountingservices.com.au. That's inquiries with an S at 360accountingservices.com.au. Once again, I want to thank you for your time today, and I'll be sending the video shortly. And well, thanks again. And if you've got any questions, that's the email address and the phone number. Thank you. Bye-bye. And have a wonderful festive season. Have a wonderful festive season.